about it, monopolies generally are considered evil because they stifle, literally stifle and kill competition. I'm so sorry, I really don't know what happened there, and I really don't want to re-record extra bits.
Hi guys, thank you so much for joining me in another video. Today I want to talk about the tech giants. A few weeks ago I did a video on FANGs and their power in the US tech economy, explosive growth, making investors very wealthy through the process. Big tech has remained a sort of silver lining during the pandemic. As an example, Invesco QQQ, which is an ETF, reached a 170 low in the pandemic, and now, as of today recording, it's trading at 270, which is a 60% increase in value. If you don't know, QQQ is an ETF that tracks FANG performance along with all other big tech as well. If I can find a graph, I'll pop it here. I guess what I'm trying to say is big tech has done really well. However, if you think about it, last week Silicon Valley's top bosses were summoned to an antitrust committee exploring the online platforms and their market power. Now, I know I've been talking about FANGs, but the four companies that attended the hearing included Tim Cook from Apple, Sundar Pichai, who's Google's CEO, Jeff Bezos, obviously, from Amazon, and Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook. I think I'm developing an obsession with Bezos at the moment. I might even do a video on it, honestly. Here's a crazy fact for you though. These four companies alone have a market cap of around 5 trillion. That's the same as the GDP of the whole of Japan, and it's almost twice that of the UK. It's no secret I'm married to an economist, so we're always talking about things like this, and I do like to test him off the cuff sometimes. I don't know how he feels about that. We're talking generally about why tech giants are getting so much stick, both good and bad. And his first response was, well, first, national giants are to be applauded because they have provided efficiency, technology that has changed the way we operate as humans, which is obvious. However, provided they don't get too much power, they can stifle competition. And is that what's happening here? I have kind of realized on this journey that I'm really interested in the economic drivers as well as personal finance and investing. So you will see videos like this. Let me know what you think, because I do like to keep up to date with current affairs and what the gossip is on the market. The first thing I want to talk about is the hearings, and I was quite surprised because they came across really aggressive and the questions are pretty hostile and quite grilling. Commentators mentioned that they brought to mind the gritty hearings of the car industry bosses in the 1960s and the big tobaccos in the 1990s, and they were the precursor to regulatory clampdowns, I suppose. However, I do think that the perception can on the face be very interesting. Cars clearly were unsafe back then, and cigarettes obviously killed people. And another thing, while I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about, that book by what's his name, Christopher Buckley? I'll have to double check, but I think it's Christopher Buckley. The book is called Thank You for Smoking. Not smoking, you know what I mean. And it's very entertaining, if anything. So like I was saying, those cars back then were dangerous and cigarettes obviously killed people, but it's a little bit more opaque how tech giants are actually bad. I mean, we all wished we used our smartphones a little bit less, I know, and the prevalence of misinformation, skewed algorithms, but regardless, we continue to do these things routinely. All these tech giants have free platforms. So Amazon is free to use, Facebook is free to use, YouTube is free to use. But should Amazon be punished for making our lives more efficient? The irony of it all just bewilders me on the daily. Where I love sharing information and expressing myself, it's on YouTube, which is a Google-owned platform where I can communicate, connect, and express myself, I suppose, and be creative. All praise to the YouTube algorithm, obviously. But let's think about it. What are the negatives? When you think about it, monopolies generally are considered evil because they stifle, literally stifle and kill competition. I'm so sorry, I really don't know what happened there, and I really don't want to re-record extra bits. I guess what I want to say is monopolies, they tend to stifle competition, and they do this by using their dominance as a monopoly, and these companies have moats built through brands, economies of scale, and access to vaster resources than their competitors generally. The public evil results in the end consumer being victim to higher pricing and lack of innovation, I suppose. And there are chapters of this stuff, but the allegation generally towards big tech is their use of the strategy of copy, acquire, and kill. And Facebook was one of the first that were accused of doing that, which could be used to destroy any competitive threats that were out there. Amazon, as an example, can see exactly what products people people are ordering and what exactly is hot on the market based on the data that they get from everybody's individual use of Amazon accounts and orders. And then they can create their own brands to rival the lucrative product lines. So how many times have you been on Amazon and ordered an Amazon line product rather than, you know, one of the branded items? I mean, what did I order on Amazon that I was actually surprised with? Oh my gosh, I ordered this, you're gonna laugh at this. I ordered the Amazon brand of duvet cover and I was like, oh, do I try it or not? And usually there's me going into John Lewis buying my Egyptian cotton, which I'm really happy with, but I refused to go into John Lewis during lockdown, obviously because we couldn't anyway. So I ordered the Amazon branded one. I was surprised, guys. It was really good. I don't know if I would order it again. Actually, I probably would. When you have babies, you're changing bed sheets constantly. So it's one to have in the drawer as a spare, and the quality is quite good. So anyway, I don't know why I went off on that tangent. And then if you look at Apple as well, they were accused of using their power to take monopoly type pricing for app developers during the App Store, and that was a huge captive market in the smartphone segment because they were forcing app developers to give away a share of their development. But the question is, isn't that normal business anyway? In a nutshell, yes it is, and legally anti-competition policy has been targeted, protecting consumers, not businesses, and it's a hot topic. The final example that came to mind while I was thinking about this video was when we were on holiday last year in South Africa, where cookers were being sold at below cost, right? So once you had your cooker in your kitchen, as a consumer you could only buy one brand of fuel. So monopoly was formed and fuel price could be higher than it actually should have been. I guess business by nature is competitive, and competition should drive prices down and deliver innovation to the customer in an ideal scenario. And like I mentioned before, tech giants don't charge for their services. So broadly speaking, YouTube, Google, Facebook are all free to use. Amazon also competes on price, so who can even say that we're getting ripped off? However, there are concerns that it's not economic damage but societal damage. So fake truth, election tampering, all of that stuff that needs government intervention. And so what if there was a breakup? So where we say breakup, it will stifle innovation and harm consumers and give capitalism a bad name. However, for all those startups that have failed, there are thousands that have succeeded because of the interconnected nature of the platforms anyway. And the platforms also are leveling the playing field for new businesses, don't you think? And finally, I'm not saying I'm pro Facebook or not or whatever. There's no political agenda here. Zuckerberg has got a lot of stick for so many things, but is it right for him to be punished for being an astute businessman? Take the acquisition of Instagram, where he paid $1 billion for it and was ridiculed by everybody, but it has since been a roaring success because he had the entrepreneurial vision for it. And a hot one right now that everyone is talking about is Microsoft's acquisition of TikTok, another free platform made by the Chinese, which is now being acquired, allegedly. In any case, if we are going to break up big tech, the economic benefit to the consumer needs to be clear. How will we benefit if Amazon servers were separated from the Amazon store? Likewise, what would disintermediating Facebook from Instagram achieve? As a consumer, it doesn't change our world. I think there definitely is a case for regulation and fact checking, and that's all very clear, but to carve these companies out would be interesting and would require a massive rethink of existing laws. I guess I could go on and on about this, but that's a wrap for now. Let me know your thoughts below in the comments. Like if you like what you're seeing, or like for the algo, subscribe if you haven't already. But until next time, I'm out. Cheers guys, bye.